Hi, I'm Kristen Amdahl and welcome back to my studio and channel. In this video, I want to show you some tips and tricks for making one of the projects from my brand new book, 52 Crochet Gifts. In this video, I'm going to show you how I took a store-bought tank top and upcycled it into this gorgeous crochet top by crocheting along the fabric to make these beautiful lace sleeves. This is one of the projects from my brand new book. You can also download the pattern individually. The pattern includes written instructions as well as an amazing chart. And in this video, I'll show you some of the tips for getting started. This upcycle project is a great solution for embellishing a store-bought top and is easy to modify to fit any size. This makes a great last-minute gift, or could even be made for a group of people. You could also wear them in several different colors to wear throughout the week. You will need 200 yards of No. 1 fingering weight yarn, a C2 or 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, and a store-bought spaghetti strap tank top. In this project, we used Be So Fine yarn and colorway Chantilly lace. Let's get started. Making a gauge swatch is a really good first step for this type of a project. Once you achieve gauge, you can make sleeves on any size top. Simply measure the opening of the armhole of the top and multiply by your row gauge to figure out how many stitches you need to work your first round. I've already done that for my top, but this is an extra large. It has a 9-inch opening or 18 inches in the round, so I know how many stitches I need to do this one, but depending on what size you're making, what kind of yarn you use, what kind of gauge you get with the yarn and the hook that you use, you'll need to figure this out as well. Also keep in mind that you can match your yarn and your tank top, or you could do contrasting colors. I think making stripes on the sleeves would be pretty. Doing something super bold and colorful, or a contrast color to your tank top, but complementary colors are also really elegant, sophisticated, and beautiful. We're going to start by tying our yarn to our crochet hook. And first I'll show you how we actually join our yarn to the tank top. Then after that, I'll show you how to work this super simple and beautiful stitch pattern. So we're going to start round 1 by slip stitching our yarn to the edge of the tank top strap. So we're going to work around the strap, we're not even working into the strap, we're just working around it. How easy is that? Working a slip stitch, chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And we're going to work 63 double crochets evenly around the strap, keeping in mind that this is based on the gauge that I have and the size that I'm working on. So double crochet is yarn over your hook, insert your hook around the strap, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. How easy and awesome is that? I love this. So we'll do that for our 63 double crochets plus the chain 3 that counts as a double crochet will be 64 double crochets along the strap. And then after that, I'll show you how we actually crochet into the fabric to work along the underarm. Okay, before we move on to the underarm, you do want to slide your stitches around. So based on what gauge you're expecting from your swatch, you want to slide these to try to achieve the same gauge. And assuming that your gauge was meant for the size of the sleeve, really you're just sliding them across to fill up the entire strap. Because when you're crocheting, they end up looking like that, so it only came to about halfway, and I'm just sitting here and massaging the stitches around. The good news is we didn't work into the strap at this point. We've just worked around the strap, so it's super easy to massage the stitches along the strap. So it looks pretty good now. We've covered most of the strap, so I'll put my crochet hook back on my yarn. And now we're ready to work in the underarm. Now, in the underarm portion, I counted, I expect to work 36 stitches. Now, to do that evenly, what you would want to do is find midpoint, right? So if I want 36 stitches along this whole underarm edge, the side seam's my half point, so that would be 36 divided by 2. Okay, I want 18 stitches in this section, so divide that in 2. I want 9 stitches in this section. So you could mark this with safety pins, you could mark it with, you know, some sort of pencil or chalk that you can wash off, or you could measure it out and figure out that that's a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, whatever it ends up working for your gauge. And then I want to show you how we work our stitches into the fabric. Now, the fabric is pretty thin on its own, but obviously in the seam it's a little bit thicker. I do not recommend trying to put your crochet hook through the seam. So we're going to work under the seam in one thickness of the fabric and pierce the fabric with our crochet hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. What I forgot to mention is that for a double crochet, we yarn over first. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook in the fabric. I'm doing approximately a 1/4 inch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, if you end up doing this with a thicker yarn and a thicker crochet hook, and you can't stab the fabric, for lack of a better word, if your crochet hook isn't sharp enough to penetrate the fabric, you could use a sharp awl to poke into the fabric first, make the hole, and then bring your crochet hook through as well. So it doesn't really matter what size yarn you use. There are tools for getting this effect either way. So I'm going to try to get 18 stitches at my halfway point and 36 stitches overall on my underarm area. And after that, this is smooth sailing. Then it's crochet like you've always done. The only difference in crochet on fabric is in the starting row or starting round, row or round, whatever you end up doing. It's in this part that you're doing something slightly different. But after this, then it's just like crocheting any other project. Okay, now I've done 9 stitches, so I want to check and make sure I'm looking to be about where I wanted to be. And I said for the halfway point of the half, so the 1/4 point, I needed 9 stitches, and I have 9 stitches in my 1/4 midpoint. So now if I keep on pace for that, I should get 36 stitches around the whole underarm edge. Okay, we've made it all the way around our sleeve hole opening now, and we can slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. So for my project, I have a total of 100 stitches, and depending on what size crochet hook, what size yarn, what size gauge, and what size top you're making, that number may be different. But for this particular stitch pattern, you're going to want a multiple of 4 stitches. All right, so we're ready to begin round 2. And round 2 begins with a chain 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1. We will skip the next stitch and double crochet in the stitch after that. And so we're going to repeat that all the way around. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and double crochet in the next stitch. At the end of the round, we'll slip stitch to the 3rd chain of the chain 4 at the beginning of the round to join. That is the double crochet portion of the chain 4. Round 3 begins with a chain 3 that counts as a double crochet in the next chain 1 space, double crochet in the next double crochet. And so our repeat for this round is double crochet in the next double crochet and double crochet in the next chain 1 space. And you just want to repeat that all the way around. Okay, at the end of round 3, we're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. And that's what the end of round 3 should look like. Round 4 begins with a chain 2 or chain 3 and 2 double crochet cluster in each of the next 2 stitches. So yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So we now have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on our hook, chain 3, skip the next stitch, and over the next 3 stitches work a 3 double crochet 3 together. So we skip 1 stitch, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on our hook, chain 3, and that's what we're going to repeat across, or around. We're going to skip the next stitch, double crochet 3 together over the next 3 stitches, chain 3. And you want to repeat that all the way around. At the end of round 4, we're going to work our last chain 3, then slip stitch to the top of the first stitch at the beginning of the round to join. Now for this particular round, we did a chain 3 and then a 2 double crochet together. Well, that was meant to replicate the double crochet 3 together, and so I don't count that chain 3 as my first stitch. It's a component of that stitch that is the equivalent of the double crochet 3 together, but done at the beginning of the round. So I slip stitch into the double crochet 2 together, counting as the top of that first stitch. Round 5 begins with a chain 1. Round 5 begins now with a slip stitch into the first chain 3 space, chain 1, and single crochet into that same chain 3 space, chain 3, skip the next stitch and work a single crochet in the next chain 3 space. We're going to work chain 3, single crochet in the next chain 3 space, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of row 5, we will work our last repeat, chain 3, and slip stitch to the first single crochet at the beginning of the round to join. Don't worry if your mesh looks flat and rather invisible at this point. As we get more established in the pattern, they will start to pop out a little more. Round 6 begins with a slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, chain 1, and single crochet in the same stitch, chain 3, single crochet in the next chain 3 space. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. At the end of the last repeat of round 6, single crochet in the last chain 3 space, chain 3, and slip stitch to the first single crochet at the beginning of the round to join. That's the end of round 6. Round 7 begins with slip stitch into the first chain 3 space, chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and work 3 double crochets in that same chain 3 space. And our repeat for this round is to work 4 double crochets in each chain 3 space around. At the end of row 7, we will slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. And now to make these sleeves the same size as the ones on my finished Jasmine top, you'll want to repeat rounds. Well, you're going to want to work through round 23, which means you'll be repeating rounds 2 to 7 2 more times, then rounds 2 to 3 once more. Then the final round is the edging round, which is so pretty and really ties the whole thing together. And I'll just go ahead and show you how to do that now. Edging round is a chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch, chain 4, 3 double crochet cluster in the same stitch, and that is a yarn over your hook, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, and do that 2 more times in the same stitch, yarn over, insert your hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert your hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. And now with 4 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops together. Skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet in the next stitch. And notice how, even though that cluster stitch stood up vertically, by skipping stitches and single crocheting in the next, that's what makes that cluster stitch end up being horizontal and gives us that beautiful scalloped edge. So let me show you that repeat again. We're going to chain 4, three double crochet cluster in the same stitch that we just worked in, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 more times, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on your hook, skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet in the next. Do that one more time. One, 2, 3, 4. How pretty is that? And then obviously whatever you do for this side of your tank top, you want to repeat the entire process for your second sleeve. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything we talked about today, please feel welcome to leave them for me in the comments. You can find links to everything I showed you today in the video description below. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you in the next video.